Well, we took a detour off the road to the Kentucky Derby last week. It was a good one for the Pegasus World Cup, of course. Skippy Longstocking getting the best of his stablemate White Abario in the lane, but we're back on the road to the Derby, and it's going to be at the same place, our sister track, Gulfstream Park, the Holy Bull, and even the Swale, which isn't a Derby prep, but it is for 3-year-olds, and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to do so from a pace perspective. Pace makes the race, is what they say. We'll see what Bailey thinks. Up next on Horse Sense.
Welcome back to another episode of Horse Sense. As always, I'm Bailey Armour, joined alongside my close personal friend, Scott Shapiro, back this week after I finally made it out of Miami after the Pegasus last week, which was fantastic. Pegasus Day was very good. The, of course, snowstorm hitting most of Kentucky and pretty much the entire East Coast, not so good. So it took me like 3 days to get home, but I did finally make it back. And I am so excited to talk about the Holy Bull back at Gulfstream this week. Of course, with you, Scott, and all of our lovely audience there. Just quickly before we dive in, promotionally this week, we've got a set of 4 $1,000 hit and splits on the late pick 4 at both Gulfstream and Santa Anita on Saturday and Sunday. So that's 4 separate pools. You hit any one of those and you'll win your share of $1,000 extra in bonus cash right back into your first bet or Xpressbet account. Promo details are already up on the page there with the sequence of races in every one of those cards. It's all drawn. I cannot pretend to remember all of them off the top of my head right now while I look into the camera, but they are all on the promo page for your viewing pleasure. And we'll talk about some of the races in those sequences as we get into today's episode covering, like Scott mentioned, the Holy Bull and the Swale. And see. And now to Scott for tournament news.
Yeah, and I will have a blog up on Saturday morning, or no, we're recording this on Thursday morning. I'll have a blog up on Friday morning with the Gulfstream Saturday hit and split, and then Sunday morning I'll have a Santa Anita hit and split for that one. So a couple of promotions. Remember to register for those, and we got a text in while you were talking. Actually,
breaking news.
Scene. Ding ding, and we got a fresh tournament. Like we have a fresh hit and split off the wire here. A pop-up tournament, the $1,000 Holy Bull Challenge. And since I just got this, let's see, we got one BCBC seat valued for every 20 seats on the line. So we're just trying to get the word out here so we get people qualified. And this is exactly what I'm looking at here and reading it in real time. Looks like entry cutoff will be race 7, 3:15. That's probably the normal cutoff. So yeah, BC on the line, low ratio qualifier type deal. If you, I think we call those, but
we did.
Yeah. So I just babbled a little, but thanks for bearing with me. I'm not a news anchor here. Clearly, I'm the air. But also wanted to thank everybody that made the PWCVC so successful. So we had significantly more people than last year joined, so we're happy about that. And congrats to those that profited. A lot of people made a few people made a lot of money, I should say. I was okay in the beat the host last week. I knocked some people out because it was tough sledding at Gulfstream, but I would have liked to be a little better. I expect Brian Nato from Gulfstream to pick me up, knock a lot of you out there out, but you'll have to beat him. He's talking a lot of smack to me behind the scenes, talking about beat everybody, and if you guys might want to show him up, might want to show him, or maybe you think he's that good. But Brian will take over for me. I was very underwhelming last week. Well, Bailey, we talked about it. Road to the Derby continues. Glad you made it back from the Pegasus. I forgot to say that. Really felt terrible for you being stuck down there in the sun while most of us watching this, or me, digit temperatures. Glad to see you're back as one of us. But we got some the 3-year-olds are going to take center stage after the older horses last week and a lot of good turf races. We'll talk a little bit about the Swale. We were planning as normal to do the a couple of Derby preps, or the Southwest Stakes though was canceled. That'll be next Friday, I would presume. We haven't seen the schedule yet. That we'll try to cover that on Horse Sense next week. because that was a big full field. The Code was the one that I was most interested in seeing stretch out. He was awesome on debut, but Holy Bull, Gulfstream Park, the Sunshine will get our focus. And I thought it was a good race, Bailey, to talk about kind of a cliche in racing. And you probably, I don't know, maybe you did have, all these cliches you'd hear at the track or the 80 OTB growing up, like, pace makes the race. Did you ever hear that?
Oh, yeah. I feel like that's tattooed on the inside of my eyelids at the amount of times that I have heard someone say that. And also now said it myself. I feel like I've become like one of those old Muppets guys up in the boxes repeating these cliches.
Oh, I forget what their names are. Those guys are cool.
I don't know. I know that they have names, but I can't think of them.
Most people do.
Most people have names.
Even characters, or how, if they didn't have names, how would you write them into the script if they didn't have a character name?
Just like the longest possible visual description. See, okay. Names is way better.
Old man up in the. Okay. So the Holy Bull, we had a field of 9. The weather, which fortunately won't impact the racing there, but we lost Butane for Baffert, who the plane didn't make it. The plane got canceled to Florida, which is understandable. You definitely understand that. So he'll compete another day, maybe in Oakland, because he was cross-listed, I think, in the Southwest. Like, the plan was to come here. So maybe that in game 4 at the outside horse for Chad Summers is going to run instead in the Sam F. Davis. I did it. I didn't call it the Stephen F. Davis.
Good job.
Stephen Davis, a former Washington Redskins running back. Game 4 will run in the Stephen F. No, Sam F. Davis. Philly today. All right. So we've got a field of 7, and it kind of, I feel like it will get bet like this, and it looks like it's kind of the haves and have-nots, if you will. We've seen crazier things happen than an upset in a race like this, but without the morning lines being out, it looks to me like you've got Incredible, Cannoneer, and Nearly that are going to be the ones that take a lot of the money. We'll talk about pace, but just a quick response. Did you see it the similar way in terms of those 3 being kind of standouts or above the rest in terms of where you think the public will see the race?
Yeah, I think so. I think this one is pretty cut and dry. This is one of the easier times with the race that I've had recently. To me, it's Cannoneer all day, and we can talk a little bit about.
Yeah, let's talk about the pace. That's, I think, a big part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Can we just briefly touch on Roger That Dana? Because I can't figure out if this horse is supposed to be an early horse. I mean, 2 of the 3 lifetime starts he goes right out to the lead, but then last time was not ridden that way, and then obviously did not win. So I would assume the plan would be to also send him with those other ones, right?
Yeah, I think he is basically the wild card in this race, unless somebody shows different tactics or Global Aviator on the stretch out break. He's going sprint to round. He just broke bad last time. Those are the 2 that could make life difficult for the horse that you mentioned, Cannoneer, which we'll get to here. But Global Aviator, that's a big if. He has to break and he has to prove he's at the level. And I feel that Roger That Dana is more likely to be on the lead or want to be up there. But I mean, he didn't make it last time, and that was against the first time he took on this level of competition. He didn't get ridden necessarily for speed, and they're stretching out. But to me, they have to be. I agree with your sentiment. They have to be trying for the lead. But like, you have a horse like Cannoneer, who's legit fast and classy, we presume.
Yeah.
I mean, he might just be faster, right?
I think he is faster. I mean,
really, you think he'll make the lead? Like, you think as much as the 2 or the 4 might want the lead, Cannoneer just makes it, right?
Yeah, I don't see how anybody is going to get a better shootout to the front performance than Cannoneer and just stay there.
He doesn't break Incredible. That's the only question. That's the only thing.
That's the thing. But
so he doesn't break Incredible, and he's outside these other potential speeds. So if he breaks a little slow, and Irad stretching him out for the first time, I mean, they might know that he's a need the lead type, and he might just go. But I think they're really high on this horse, as you would presume. But I've heard since his last couple of races, I think he's been doing things very well, and you can't really tell from the workouts at Payson Park. That's more just hearing Brad Cox's interview and whatnot. That doesn't mean, all that much necessarily. He's never gone 2 turns. He's never raced as a 3-year-old, but unless his tactics change, it feels like his natural speed will bring him into the race. But Irad might be content to sit second if he doesn't break all that well.
Did you happen to look up the pedigree of this horse?
Well, Catch the Moon, is that horse part of the By the Moon family, that family, or is that a different one?
He's a half to Gervin and Midnight Bourbon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then the damn Bright Work is also on the
Florida breds, though, right? Or I know Gervin was a Florida bred.
Yeah, Gervin is the sire of our very own Close the Game Sugar. Meatball.
Yeah. No. I mean, this horse is supposed. The way I look at this race, and why don't you? I mean, do you think he's the best horse and going to make the lead, or do you like him because of the pace?
No, I think he's the best horse in this field, and I think he's going to make the lead. I mean, he 7 furlongs last time. Now, that was a 2-year-old, like before the winter break, but he won by 7 at Churchill. And 7 to 1 mile and a 16th is nothing that I'm concerned about. It's like to me, it's just very cut and dry on paper, but maybe there's something that I'm missing from another horse. But I think he is the class.
Well, let's talk about the alternatives. I like him as well. I like him as well. I don't think it's, Brad's horses didn't run well in the the big dirt race last weekend. So maybe I'm a slightly gun shy because of that, even though I shouldn't be. But I think there's at least one other horse that has. I mean, I can't say a better chance or as good as Cannoneer because I bet Cannoneer in the last future wager pool, so that would make it. I need him to win the race. I feel like Cannoneer has to win the race unless he just gets dueled in defeat like his debut, or else he's probably not a Derby horse. Where I feel like Incredible, who was really good in his last couple of starts, does not have to win this start. I don't think it matters that much for him because
to continue down the trail.
As long as he puts in a good effort, finishes well. I want to see him finishing well. That was what matters to me. But if the pace isn't, that good for him, or if he gets off to a slow start, Jamie Torres, he doesn't ride a lot of Gulfstream,
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to think about. Riley Mott, this is his first kind of real Derby horse, if you will. I doubt he has him cranked for the race, I mean, if he's following his dad's, the way his dad operates. So that's my concern with him from this race. But I think he's serious, I think. And then you have.
When I asked about him, I was told he's a very good boy. So that's all the information. Yeah, that's all the information that I got.
But that's a huge compliment, though, right? And yeah. Like it doesn't. It sounds simple, like they're going to say that about all their horses, but they would. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. And then Nearly is the one that I find as an interesting option in here. Not me. The debut, though, you can put a line through all these horses. It's very interesting. Cannoneer, Nearly, and Incredible, all off the board on debut. So. Or Cannoneer finished third in a 7-horse field at 2 to 5. But it just goes to show that means very little. And also you reverse engineer it, and debut winners might not be great bets later, because these.
Yeah, they have their one peak too early or whatever.
But Nearly, what do you think of Nearly?
I was going to ask you the same question of Nearly. I agree.
But I want to hear you first.
I agree that you can draw a line through that debut. I mean, sometimes they're just, not ready, and you have to see how they're going to perform once you put them out there.
And they did go, just so you know, for those that didn't watch that, they ran 1, 2, 3 around the track, and this horse got off to a slow start. So not only did he not really, obviously fire, but he, nobody was coming from the back. Sorry to interrupt.
No, please. Thank you for adding that context. I think I know that I like the last race from Gulfstream. I like that he has already had some experience going around this track and has won here and won by 5 under John Velasquez, which is fantastic, obviously. I think that he and Cannoneer will probably take the most money in this race, and then maybe the Saffy horse thrown in there, the 8 Bravaro. Yeah, Bravaro, I'm saying that right. I don't know. I'm just not as confident in anybody in this race as I am with Cannoneer.
Well, I've got, to me, this horse, I'm worried about him regressing some. That was a really fast race last time. And he's coming back off 4 weeks, which is enough time. And Todd Pletcher doesn't rush his horses back. But I really feel, I don't know. I guess part of me thinks if Todd thought this was his Florida Derby horse, let alone Kentucky Derby, he'd be
Yeah.
giving him more time. I don't know.
Last time was first time Lasix as well.
Right. I mean, he ran well to start before. He's also going
Yeah.
2 turns for the first time, also, which is, that's the advantage that Incredible has. And I think he's going to take more money than you're giving him credit for, but maybe not as much as the top two. But I'd be surprised if Bravaro takes more money.
Let's see. Riff for a second because I want to look up Nearly's pedigree.
Well, the only other horse that who's pedigree?
Nearly. He's a
Florida bred pedigree. It's a little bit interesting.
Yeah, this is not much from the dam. She only has one other registered foal, but the second dam was a black type winner down at Calder quite a bit. So no major recognizable names on the page, but plenty of Florida black type. So
I mean, you can look at it the opposite way. He might be doing so well that Todd's running him, right? You know what I mean? The fact that he doesn't, Todd would, so and he doesn't think that he's going to be his Kentucky Derby horse. So he's like, I want to get the most out of him now, and we'll see how it goes. So both ways. The only horse that I could see from an upset potential, and I think it's a reach on top, is Project Ace. And I say that because he's going to be in last probably, but he can finish. And if they do, if somebody runs off or two of them run off, he's going to make the last move. I think that's pretty, this horse has no speed. Corey Lannery will just, sit on the rail and take what they give. He's the horse that, he has no speed. You'll be way out of it. He was slightly interesting to me underneath, maybe.
It was difficult for horses to close on Pegasus Day, with the exception of Skippy and the big one, obviously. But I feel like earlier in the day, there just wasn't much closing at all. So we'll see if this Saturday plays out like that did. But I don't have much confidence in Project Ace just based on that recency bias.
Yeah, but you can get underneath. You know what I mean? Horses finish underneath. Like if the other speeds, you know what I mean? Like you could get, he could get, if Cannoneer runs as well as he might on the lead or something, and he draws off, anything happens underneath, when that happens, because they're trying to win the race. The horses on the turn are trying to keep up with Cannoneer, where a Project Ace is just trying to kick in kind of thing. I don't got
to. Hey, they make the trifecta wager for a region, so I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm with you. I think Cannoneer is probably. I haven't finished looking. We'll talk about all the stakes races, which make up most of the late horizontals, on the First Call podcast tomorrow with Jeremy Plonk. But if I have some creative opinions elsewhere, I could definitely see singling Cannoneer. Let's just move quickly to the Swale, which we're going to talk. Just the 3-year-olds here, and they're sprinting, and 7 furlongs. So these are not necessarily horses that the Derby is on their mind right now. And the point, there's no Derby points, but there's horses here that have some talent, and you never really know how it will end up going. But man, I mean, you look at Solitude Dude. Let's talk it from a pace perspective. Yeah. Solitude Dude, he looks like he's just going to get whatever trip he wants because he has the tactical speed. Like if they go fast early, he's just going to be able to sit second or third. And if nobody wants to go, he'll just go, right? Like he can just.
Oh, easily. I like seeing that he's run both 6.5 and 6 because he's kind of, adjustable in that rating there. Under whoever rides him. I think this is a really, really talented horse, and I'm very intrigued to see him run.
The rider, though, did you notice? I mean, it's very interesting that Irad, who hasn't ridden him in either of his starts, rides. He was on Class President, who won by 3.25 lengths for Todd, who that tells. I mean, that's a tell, you would think.
Yeah.
Somebody knows this horse is serious. I mean, it doesn't. Obviously, we all know, but sorry.
Right. No, thank you. This is what I love about doing this with you is that we've started to think kind of along the same lines of things and pick things up together. But yeah, winning by 9.5 on debut, winning by 8 last out at Tampa in a stakes race. It's crazy. I mean, to look at those as a 2-year-old winning by these kind of margins. Irad jumping off of Class President to ride this one. I mean, this is another one that felt very cut and dry to me as well. I don't think I have anything that's pulling me to another horse in this race because so many things seem to be setting up well for Solitude Dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's much the horse to beat. But I've kind of been waiting for Epic Summer to come back, so I'm gonna I'll get a good price. And I don't know, the Mucho Macho Man was earlier this month, and this
Mhm.
horse ran really well on debut, and a lot of people liked him in the Mucho Macho Man, but I was dubious because he had
Ooh.
a lot of time off between works. Like
Mhm.
gap November 20, you could see it still, November 21st to December 19th. He was at Palm
Yeah.
Beach Downs and there was nothing there. So I think he was really short last race.
Mhm.
And he was really gritty and good. His debut effort at 9-1 in a 6-horse field, so he wasn't expected to be that good. And I just think he's got a bigger race in him. He might not be good enough to beat. Well, he's probably not good enough to beat Solitude, dude. I'm gonna have to see the way the wagering goes. If I can get a decent price on him to win, I would bet him to win a little bit and then play a bigger exacta 6-3.
Yeah.
I'm presuming class president will be the second choice pretty prohibitively, or I'm hopeful. But and maybe maybe the B and Cone horse, Dia Cassette. But pace wise, I thought I didn't think the pace was going to be super high.
So
Whoa.
sorry, I don't know if you heard that. A fire truck just came roaring by on News Circle, which is literally directly
It's
outside
the
this window.
cops. They're coming to get you. We better finish up soon. But
We
whatever.
better wrap this up. They're coming for me. Any other thoughts on the Swale before we close it out?
No, I think we're looking at a couple of races from a pace perspective and a lot, like you said, a lot of races at Gulfstream, if they're not going super fast and contentious early, being up close or on the lead could be an advantage. And that's kind of why we talked about these. I think we both think that it will be very unlikely for a horse to come from well out of it. So in these cases, pace will make the race.
As always, thank you so much for watching another episode of Horse Sense. I'm Bailey Armour and joined alongside the one and only Scott Shapiro. We went through the Holy Bull and the Swale with you this week. To me, pretty cut and dry. To Scott, also cut and dry, but maybe some longer priced opinions. Let us know in the comments who your picks are, and make sure that you're opted into and playing those $1,000 hidden splits at Santa Anita on Gulfstream Saturday and Sunday. Both days, both tracks, just a late pick four. So you've got 4 total chances to win. And the Holy Bull is included in the Gulfstream one on Saturday. So take our analysis there and run with it. And we will see you next time on Horse Sense.